On tonight's show,
we have live updates on the encampment happening at Chapman University.
More than $4.5 million are set to be allocated among the 23 CSUs to help Black students succeed.
And it looks like the happiest place on earth keeps getting bigger as Disneyland Anaheim expansion finally gets approved.
All that and more on OC News.
This just in, tech news. First responder on police.
There's been a lot of collaborative efforts
feel
over the
blessed to be here in Fullerton.
Brought to you by the Broadcast Journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
OC News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to our last early OC News broadcast for the spring semester 2024. I'm AJ Yaput.
And I'm Isaiah Malari. OC News is brought to you by the Broadcast Journalism students here at Cal State Fullerton.
Several universities across the country have launched encampments in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza. Some Orange County students organized one of their own. Ashley Grimaldo is live at Chapman University to tell us more. Ashley?
Hello everyone, I'm here live from Chapman University right at the site of the Gaza Solidarity Encampment. Today marks day 7, which is exactly 1 week since their launch. I had the opportunity to speak to some students regarding their organization and how it took place. Let's take a look. The Gaza Solidarity Encampment at Chapman University in the city of Orange launched day 1 a week ago on Wednesday. Led by the Students for Justice in Palestine, or SJP, they launched their encampment following news of universities across the nation doing the same.
Chapman has some sort of relationships with companies like Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Aruba Networks, and the Boeing Company, and we want them to stop those relationships, because we don't want our tuition dollars to be going towards the military-industrial complex. The Students for Justice in Palestine organized their encampment with a flexible itinerary where everyone has a designated area to take care of, and assigning tasks such as security, tactical, cleanup, art, and front desk help keep things organized amongst themselves.
Along with the rise of solidarity, safety concerns also rise for students participating in the Gaza Solidarity Encampment as they continue on day 6, which is almost a week since their launch. What do students have to say regarding safety concerns?
Last Tuesday night, we did experience an active attempted violence on campus. We had a display set up in the Atala Piazza of 4 flags in solidarity. It was the flag of Sudan, Palestine, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and Afghanistan as well. We saw a man cutting down our flag display. He was wielding a knife and turned around and started following us, yelling at us.
As SJP continues to remind allies that the focus must remain on Palestine, their 4 main demands remain the same: end complicity, total divestment, financial transparency, and to end ties with the military-industrial complex. But despite the serious effort for advocacy, students can't help but involve enjoyment in their need to make a change.
Honestly, it's a really cool thing. That just in general, despite the cause, which is the best part about it, there is a tangible thing that we are in power, and we can actually make a change. We can actually make a difference.
As Chapman reaches finals week and graduation, students hope to hear from campus administrators about a change soon. This is Asher Grimaldo reporting for OC News. Because of the overwhelming support and participation by students, they actually expanded from just one section of that quad right there to a little bit more space behind that, just to accommodate to more students coming and participating. Earlier today, they even had a teach-in and a drag show about topics of pinkwashing and LGBTQ politics. From what I've seen, it's been very, very great organization on Chapman University students' part. It seems like they did a really good job at putting in the work and the effort to keep going on day 7, and even more than that, it seems like. From OC News, back to you guys at the desk.
Now on to the latest with the conflict in Gaza. The Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin confirmed that the U.S. has decided to pause in a shipment of weapons to Israel. The shipment included different types of ammunition, including bombs. Testifying before the Congressional Subcommittee, the Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said this pause comes amid concerns the weapons could be used in the city of Rafah in Gaza. where more than 1 million civilians are sheltering. The decision is a major shift in policy from the Biden administration, and it's the first known case where the U.S. has denied its close ally military aid since violence in Gaza began. Austin also said that the shipment of bombs would resume after Israel supplied the U.S. with a plan to protect the civilians seeking refuge in Rafah.
Great news! Cal State Fullerton was just awarded a large grant to help inclusive excellence around the campus. Here's Kyle Hankins with more on the story.
The Cal State University Systems has announced that they will be allocating $4,630,846 to 23 campuses as part of their $10 million commitment over the next 3 years to fund priority areas outlined in their report. During the 2022-23 academic year, Cal State Fullerton modified their job posting and changed their recruitment efforts. Since these modifications, 3 out of their 4 hires were Black faculty members, increasing from 5% to 12%.
I think any and all issues and monies that they put toward Black success is going to make the university more successful. We've had 3 Black presidents at Cal State Fullerton, and I think, rather than celebrating Black history in just February, when they put money in there, we could be celebrating Black history every day and every month at Cal State Fullerton.
Nearly $5 million was distributed to all CSUs, and Cal State Fullerton was awarded $250,000 in grant money. They look to use this money in different ways to support Black student success.
Regardless of various demographics or identities, when we educate our campus faculty on how to be more intentional with their curriculum and create space and learning for community and practice in diversifying our curriculum and learning better historical context, I think every student stands to be directly impacted.
With the grant that Cal State Fullerton has received, they plan to allocate the money in a bunch of ways to help raise awareness about the Black experience. Fullerton has recently hired Patience Brown as their inaugural Executive Director of Black Student Academic Success to help with this.
I think Dr. Bryant is uniquely positioned to be able to directly address those experiences that our Black students are having in the classroom in a way that will be directly aligned with what we're trying to accomplish with our campus strategic plan, with what we're trying to accomplish with our Elevating Black Student Success goals from the Chancellor's Office. So
the idea of elevating Black excellence in the CSU system started in the fall of 2023, where a Black student success group drafted a recommendation to CSUs. With this grant, students are hoping to see more inclusion around their campus.
Yeah, I just, saw that the other week. I think it's really good. I think it's something that probably should have happened, a while back, but, better late than never. It's gonna be really nice to see more inclusion around, hopefully, hopefully it's noticeable too, that's one thing saying it, one thing seeing it in person. So, I'm definitely excited to come back next semester and see the changes and, hopefully it's just something, like I said, that continues going and growing more and more each year.
With Dr. Cecil Chick and the help of Dr. Brandt now on campus, Cal State Fullerton looks to implement their ideas on campus and spend their summer planning so they can implement their initiatives in the fall. Reporting for OC News, I'm Kyle Hankins.
A big win for Disneyland's theme park in Anaheim. They now have the green light to start developing its expansion plan. The plan was officially approved unanimously by the Anaheim City Council on Tuesday, May 7th. With this approval, Disneyland can now expand in the city without acquiring any new land. By building attractions where the company could previously only build hotels and parking lots, the initiative, which was first introduced in 2021, also notes the expansion of the parking in the east and northeast of the theme park, with the potential of footbridges to be built across Harbor Boulevard and Disneyland Drive.
I'm excited to see where that money is going to go for that new department.
Yeah, it's very refreshing to see that the money is allocated to something that's really good.
Yeah. Okay, well, on deck, we have U.S. weather updates as 2/3 of the country are experiencing severe weather of all kinds.
And speaking of weather, authorities are asking residents to prepare for wildfire season as potential intense summer temperatures are looming. Stay tuned.
talking about.
STEM is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet-breaking, record-breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM to get started.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. Alright, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
There have been severe storms sweeping the nation from Maine down to Texas, and these storms have affected millions of American lives. Today, more than 140 million people will be impacted by the major storms sweeping across the nation, and the weather ranges from snowfall in the Northeast to fires in the Southwest, and even tornadoes in the Midwest. Hundreds of buildings have been damaged, including a FedEx facility that collapsed and trapped 50 people. The weather should clear up by the start of next week.
The days are getting longer and hotter. This means it's officially fire season. Fire marshals suggest that California citizens start preparing and protecting their homes before the fire reaches the season. This week is Wildfire Preparedness Week in California. CAL FIRE is taking every precaution possible to protect homes. CAL FIRE had a demonstration showing the difference of a prepared home and an unprepared home. This demonstration showed how easily houses could burn down and why over 60,000 homes have been destroyed in the recent years. The best way to protect your house is following the 6 Ps: people, pets, plastics, prescriptions, phone numbers, and papers. By following these rules and keeping an eye on your vegetation, you can ensure your safety and prevent wildfires.
The NBA playoffs are here, and the MLB season is in full swing for our local SoCal teams. Let's toss it over to Roberto Ortega with more.
Thank you, Isaiah. The sports world has been active as of late. Let's start off with the playoffs and MLB season ready to heat up. Now, let's look at Game 1, Round 2, Knicks versus Pacers. Pacers took a trip to Madison Square Garden, taking on the Knicks for Game 1. The Knicks were led by Josh Hart with 24 points and 13 rebounds. Josh has been Mr. Reliable, not missing a single minute in the second half of this postseason. Meanwhile, center Miles Turner was dominant for the Pacers, scoring 23 points but only securing 2 rebounds. The game was back and forth affair with the Knicks superstar Jalen Brunson going for 43 points. The game was tied heading to the final minute when the Knicks guard Dante DiVincenzo hit a three-pointer, giving the Knicks the lead that will now replenish, holding on to the game with a score of 121-117. Now the Denver Nuggets are the defending champs, but now on the ropes after dropping Game 1 at home against the Timberwolves. With Rudy Gobert injured, it was a must-win Game 2 for the Nuggets. Game 2 got heated on early with the Nuggets head coach Mike Malone got in the face of an official early in the first half. The second quarter, the Timberwolves played some of the best defense in NBA history, holding on to the Nuggets just 15 points in the second. Frustration will go on the Nuggets bench when point guard Jamal Murray threw a heaty pack onto the court, earning him a $100,000 fee by the league. The Timberwolves' dominance continued to the second half with star Anthony Edwards scoring 27 points and 7 dimes. The T-Wolves went on to win the game 106-80, giving them a 2-0 series lead heading back to Minnesota. Moving on to baseball diamond, the Los Angeles Dodgers last night celebrated Mexican Heritage Month in the game against the Miami Marlins. The Marlins jumped onto an early lead 2-0 on top of the first inning, but that lead didn't last for long when designated hitter Shohei Ohtani hit a 2-run home run, his league-leading 11th of the year. The next batter, first baseman Freddie Freeman, hit a solo home run, giving the Dodgers a 3-2 lead. The Dodgers pitcher Walker Buehler made his season debut after missing 2 seasons due to Tommy John surgery. He will go 4 innings with 4 strikeouts and 3 earned runs. In the bottom of the third inning, Teoscar Hernandez went yard, his 9th of the season. Dodgers will go on to beat the Marlins 6-3, good for the 5th win in a row. Well, that's all what I have for you in the sports world. Now back out to you guys.
Lately, here at Cal State Fullerton, the baseball program has been struggling to find its way back to the College World Series. Over the weekend, the 1979 national champion team was honored at Goodwin Field. Reporter Ty Therian has more on the story.
79 national champion Titans to the field.
45 years ago, Cal State Fullerton etched their names into the record books, beating Arkansas 2-1 to win the College World Series. This weekend, the team was celebrated for their accomplishments. Led by head coach Augie Garrido, the team lost the first game of the tournament, being a double elimination the Titans needed to win out. After the Game 1 loss to Mississippi State, Coach Augie Garrido went into the locker room with one message for his team: we're right where we want to be.
The lowest point is what I remember. We lost the first game to Mississippi State, and all of us were disappointed, shocked, all the things that you are. And we got in the clubhouse afterwards, and he said, "This is going exactly the way we want it to go." Everybody just kind of sits back and what?
In Game 1 of the losers bracket, Fullerton beat UConn 8-3. Round 2, they routed Arizona 16-3. In the semifinals, they faced Arkansas, winning 13-10. In the last single elimination game, Fullerton defeated Pepperdine 8-5, moving on to the College World Series. This World Series appearance and eventual victory has given Fullerton a standard to live up to. Fullerton starter Dave Weatherman threw a complete game in the finale on no rest to secure the Titans' victory.
I assumed one of the other pitchers was going to throw because I threw that day. And I'll never forget it. Augie walked down to the end of the dugout and he says, "Get some sleep tonight." "Why?" He says, "Because you're throwing." I said, "Didn't you just watch what, I couldn't believe it."
The 1979 National Championship team here at Cal State Fullerton is still highly regarded and highly celebrated. You can find the names of the superstars on the field right behind me. Flashing back to the present, the first pitch of the game was thrown out by first baseman for the World Series team, Tim Wallach, who is also a key piece of the national championship game.
Probably the best moment that I have in baseball. I can still remember that night. Everybody jumping on each other because I never won a championship.
This World Series championship cemented Fullerton as a baseball school for years to come, as they would go on to win 3 more World Series. Hopefully within the next decade, the baseball program will be back to competing for championships. Reporting for OC News, I'm Ty Therian.
Now here's to hoping my apartment is up to code this week.
Me too. Wildlife prevention. Am I right?
All right, well, up next, we have an inspiring story of an upcoming first-generation graduate advocating for his community.
We'll take a look on what it's like to be an international student coming from the land down under. Stay with us.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays. Ready!
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks. Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
How prepared is your family if a wildfire shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or an earthquake? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
What does it take to discover the greatness within you? It takes resilience.
When I first got to Cal State Fullerton, I felt lost. Then I found my community. It was like a caring family cheering me on.
I wasn't sure about being a chemist. My professor showed me I could. People believed in me here, and I learned to believe in myself. Discover the resilience within you at Cal State Fullerton.
Worried about your friend, but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR, it's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Now we have all come across members in our communities that have left a huge impact on the lives of many. Our reporter Braulio Cortez brings us a powerful story of a pastor who made a miraculous comeback.
Do what you need to do so that I can soon be home with my family. That was Pastor Luis Jimenez's response after hearing he would be put in a coma during the COVID-19 pandemic. Pastor Jimenez never imagined the hardships that would come with his first COVID-19 test. It was supposed to be a minor flu. When I got my first COVID-19 test, I remember clearly that the nurse told me, "Don't worry, it's going to be just like a flu." But it all went downhill from there. Pastor Jimenez would go into a coma on January of 2021 and spend a total of 48 days in a coma, and his family began to worry.
My dad, imagine, he had kidney failure. He was undergoing dialysis 3 times a week. Multiple pressure ulcers, sores all over his body. It was scary.
Yeah. But for the youngest son, it was his mom's pain and struggle during his father's absence in the hospital that hurt him the most.
It broke my heart in a million pieces. I could not stand seeing her cry because it hurt me so much seeing her cry that I started crying. So even though when I could hear her cry at night, I would try and not hear. I would block my ears because it hurt me so much hearing her cry.
Because I would tell God, "You're taking the other half of my heart. What am I going to do if you take a part of my life?" And I bought myself a ring with 2 hearts, and my heart would break. Sometimes I would cry. I would cry leaving the hospital because it hurt leaving my husband alone.
But Patricia Jimenez and her family would receive the best news of their lives on March 31st of 2021, when they received the call from the hospital that Pastor Jimenez would be returning home soon.
That day was the happiest day of my life. The happiest.
For Pastor Jimenez, all he wanted to do daily when he returned home was to give thanks for the blessing that he had received of being with his family once again. The only thing I wanted on a day-to-day basis was to have more of a relationship with God, thanking Him for the opportunity He gave me of being with my family, my church, and the community that I love and have served for many years. But how big of a loss would it have been, not only for his family, but his community, if Pastor Jimenez wouldn't have survived those months in a coma?
I feel like it would have taken a big hit, because I feel like my dad is a father figure to a lot of people,
He would worry for the community before even worrying about himself. For the community, it would have been a big loss.
My dad gives everything for the people. He loves people. He loves community. He loves his church. I don't know what people or us would do without my dad.
I'm glad that's how God wanted it. He wanted my dad to stay, just because I feel like the impact that it would have brought if he didn't survive, it would have been bad. It would have been bad.
First-generation college students become the first students to perform an original solo show in the newly devised Performance Physical Theater concentration. Our reporter Cindy Salmaron has a story of how the student is using his experience to inspire his community.
Christian de la Torre is a graduating senior of the BFA Device Physical Theater program at CSUF.
He eats tacos with a fork? What? He doesn't like the taste of the tortillas. He only eats the meat. What? I was quite young when I started realizing I wasn't like the other kids.
He is on a mission to amplify the voices of the Hispanic community through his writing and storytelling.
I lived in a little town called Yuba City that was highly populated with Mexicans. Growing up, he didn't have much to look up to.
Like growing up somewhere where there's a location, like it's just in the middle of nowhere. It was really hard to get into any sort of thing when all you really have to look up at are the gang members.
However, he still managed to find a way to detach from peer pressure and discover himself through acting.
And then one day, he was watching something on TV.
He was watching this movie, the video,
I don't know what movie it was.
And then he would repeat it, and then he's like, I can do that, Dad.
With the support of his family and professors, he was able to become the first student of the new device Performers Physical Theater concentration to produce and perform an original solo show called Tacos with a Fork.
This was in a class where we worked on solo work, and Christian ended up being the only student in the class. We had a couple students drop out, and at first I wasn't sure if he was going to want to do this because it was a 4-hour class, but and I thought I've got one kid in a 4-hour class. But he just showed up and he just had ideas and he was excited to do it.
As you can see, Christian de la Torre, he goes above and beyond to draw from his experience to show others that no matter your background or where you come from, if you're willing to work hard, you can achieve anything.
I'm so proud of him for all of his growth and improvement from where he started with this show.
I look back at the kid who ate tacos with a fork, and I tell him, be proud of what you're going to achieve in life. Be proud of the color of your skin.
I'm Cindy Salmeron, OC News.
At CSUF, we have student leaders with diverse backgrounds. Our reporter, Roberto Ortega, has a special story for one of them.
Her bachelor's and master's, she's worked with EOP since January of 2019. The EOP front office.
I want to experience as much as I can here at Cal State Fullerton, here in America. It's one of my dreams, get that American education experience in. Just dabbling in this, dabbling in that, trying to get that all in me and gain those experiences where I can use in my life.
Gavin Ong, an exceptional international student at Cal State Fullerton with unwavering dedication and commitment. His remarkable contributions to various departments including Time TV, ASI, and HR have been highly appreciated by his colleagues. His consistent hard work, strong values, and exceptional skills have set incredible examples for our fellow students to follow.
Has shown that you can be a full-time student, you can have a part-time job, you can be involved with activities like even students' government who is involved. He has all those essence and he's managing them well.
He's a go-getter. And so I think in so many ways he's impacting people in a positive light because he's inspiring students to be like him or try to aspire to be like him. And so I think that's very positive.
It's truly remarkable how Ong has managed to excel both academic and professional pursuits. What's even more impressive is the fact that he's able to achieve all through this through sheer hard work and determination despite facing numerous adversities along his way. But you know what they say, behind every successful person is someone special who has helped them shape into the person who they are today.
Definitely learning from my mom. My mom is a single parent, and she raised me and my two brothers by herself in a foreign country. So she had a very strong work ethics.
Ong's unique value has shown through in every branch he has participated in. His peers have been inspired and moved by his tendencies as a person.
Just how he interacts with people, it just makes me want to up my standards of how I want to be as a person.
He's impacted me by inspiring me because everything that he does for ASI and for the students, it's he does it with a lot of care and passion for everyone, and like to like better like everyone's experience at school.
Ung holds significant positions in various departments, yet he goes beyond his Super A role and is known to be a person who can also be regarded as a friend.
He's a really good friend because there will be some days where I'm just off and he wants to check in on me. Gavin is not only there as someone who will help you in the workplace, but someone who will care about you as a person.
On behalf of Titan TV, ASI, and us Titans, we thank you, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Gavin.
Gavin, you're awesome.
Make every day great, Gavin. Thank you, Gavin.
Thanks, Gavin.
Thank you, Gavin.
Hey, Gavin, thank you.
Thank you, Gavin. Thank you, Gavin.
Here at Cal State Fullerton, my name is Roberto Ortega, and this is OC News.
Crocky, what a wonderful story it is.
You're right, Nate. What a wonderful man he is, too.
Well, that's all we have for you tonight from your favorite Filipino anchors. We want to thank you for joining us this evening for our last early broadcast of OC News for the spring 2024 semester. OC News is set to return in the fall 2024 semester, beginning in late August.
We want to give a special shout out to our production crew at Titan TV, our executive producers, our program advisor, and all of our students from OC News this semester. Lastly, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube page at Titan TV CSUF. From all of us here at OC News, happy AAPI Heritage Month and have a great evening. Stay swagalicious.